Welcome to another edition of Rivals. Scott Mitchell here along with Jason Buck, who is right there. You see old Jason there on the TV screen.
Shifting around.
Yeah, shifting around. Has no idea what's happening here.
I know. You need to get that camera going.
Yeah,
so
we'll be getting that there for you, old Jason. All right. Rivals has arrived, and I have to go to this question. I'm really curious. And you've played in a lot of different games in your career, right, Jason?
Yeah.
And you've had situations where the score has been close or it's been a lopsided affair. So I'm curious, what would be better for you? Would you rather fight and win this a close battle, and just by take for example beating the 49ers in the Super Bowl and just barely winning? Or would you rather just kill them by about 100 points? Which one would you rather do?
You know, the thrill of those close games, they're etched into your soul, I think. I mean, it's just those thrilling victories are the greatest that you remember them. You remember that a lot more than just crushing somebody. So I'd rather win that championship by the slimmest of margins in the last seconds. Unfortunately, on that one, I didn't. But with Montana and the Niners, but you know, we both been in a lot of close games and won some close ones and lost some close ones, and they're heartbreaking to lose them. But
so you would rather go into a game. It's more meaningful to you. It's more exciting if you actually win the game by the skin of your teeth.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because that means it was a battle that you were against the best competitor you could possibly be. It's not like going out and just spanking somebody into the mud that you're supposed to. And go, yeah, I put 60 points on those toads over there. I mean, I want to go beat the best.
But Jason, wouldn't you rather say go into the Super Bowl and just kill a team and have it over with quickly, and there's no doubt whatsoever that you're going to win this team, and you just totally dominate them and you totally beat them, and you're sitting there just for the last quarter of the game or maybe the last half of the game or third of the game, and you're not even playing anymore. You've got your shoulder pads off and you're high-fiving everybody, and you're just yeah, we just totally dominated this team. We totally just trashed them. Because I kind of like that.
You know what? I've experienced both. I experienced the loss in the last second.
Well, we're going to get to the loss in a minute. I just want to talk about the win right now.
The win.
Which one would you rather have?
And I've had the great win where you're taking the shoulder pads off or your helmet off, in the last quarter, and you're relaxed because you know you've got this one. And you enjoy it. You know what? You enjoy it. It's a totally different feeling because you enjoy it a little more, right? Because you're looking up at the family in the stands and you're waving to them, and versus head focused in on the game and on the field and not looking around, and you're feeling that angst, and they're totally different experiences. So I'd go with that thrilling victory, man,
yeah.
Right down to the wire. If I had to choose.
I think of some of those really close, exciting games that I've won. I think as a player, it's exciting when you win those games. When it comes down to the last minute, you are just but as a fan, I think you want the other one because it's hard to sit there and watch. It's one thing to be on the sideline and you have no control over it, and you just have to watch it all, and you love it when you go, we're going to win. We're going to win. We're killing this team. We're going to win. We're going to win. And that's an exciting feeling as a fan, whereas that close game is and it's every bit as exciting when you win, but it's a whole lot easier to stomach maybe as a fan than a player, because I love some of those really, really close games that I've won. In fact, I was back at our alumni week with the Detroit Lions, and Herman Moore was introduced to the Ring of Honor, and he says one of the greatest games in his memory was when we played the Minnesota Vikings and beat them on a last-second play, and he had basically had broken fingers, broken toes, and he was really in a bad space physically. He didn't practice all week long, and he catches the winning touchdown pass. Of course, I threw the winning touchdown pass, but nonetheless, it was such an exciting moment when you win those big games like that. So I get it. All right, now let's flip it on the other side. So now, would you rather just lose that heartbreaking loss to the San Francisco 49ers, or would you rather that the San Francisco Niners just blew you out of the water? Which one would be easier to stomach?
Stinking dogs. No, you know what? I still go with the close game because it's so humiliating to get slaughtered. I mean, it just sucks. So even though you're heartbroken on a last second loss, last second field goal, last second score, it just breaks your heart, and you can look back at the one or two plays in the game that would have won the game for you. And
but doesn't that make it harder though? Because it's like on one side you go, yeah, they were so much better than us. We had no shot. They were just the better team. Whereas in the close game, you say, now wait a minute. Oh, if this guy would have made this tackle, or if this guy would have, like you said, you had Joe Montana in your grasp. And he got away, and it's like, if I just would have sacked Joe Montana, it just seems to me it would be harder to lose that close game because there's all those little tiny moments that if just one of them went different, it would change the outlook of it.
Scott, and we were talking about it at my Super Bowl 23 reunion that I just had in October in Cincinnati. It was the first time we all got back together since that Super Bowl. And, talking to Munoz and, Collinsworth and all the guys. And man, it reminds me, there was a play on that last drive where we had the right coverage on Rice covered, and our safety missed it and went over to the other side of the field instead of, doubling inside on Rice, on that slant. And I hit Montana on that play, and I thought I had the sack that would have won the game. It was like a 3rd and 20. And if we hadn't missed that coverage, either would have picked it, had a huge hit, or made Montana pull it down. I would have sacked him. And you think about that kind of stuff. It was 3rd and 20. I mean, we're that close to being world champions. And there was a couple other plays in the game, but that was one of the big key ones. And it was just a missed assignment. And man, it was just it eats at you. But I would much rather feel the pain of the heartbreaking loss. I mean, that broke my heart to lose that game. Broke my heart. I worked my whole life to be there. It was my first Super Bowl. You don't know you're going to go to another one.
Right.
And I was brokenhearted. I mean, just.
All right. Jason,
I have to do that to get.
Let's bring this conversation back to the present day. Okay.
Okay.
And I feel your pain of the past. But the last game of the college football season, BYU and Utah are going to play. Okay? So I have to ask you, which way do you want your loss this year? Do you want it close, like a heartbreaker in the last second, or do you just want us to kill you and just really thrash you? Which way do you want it this year, Jason?
I've been telling everybody how humble you are, Scott, and that just came across very arrogant.
but dude, here I got. Wait. Here's something to consider now.
Hey, I'm not betting my beard this year, man. I'm not. Betting
no, we're gonna have a bet. I can tell you that right now.
Well, you cannot. That is so unfair.
We'll handicap it this time.
We just lost to NIU at home.
Look, and I know we only beat them by 7, so it's gonna be a close game. So what are we gonna bet?
Here's the thing. On this kind of a rivalry game, throw it all out, and that is a true statement. Anything could happen.
That's not true. In this game that is not true, Jason. Come on, you're just trying to sound good right now. That's not true. BYU is going to get beat so bad in this game. They are going to get beat so bad, Jason.
And come out and lay an egg just like Wisconsin did.
All right, so here's something to consider. Okay, this might make you feel better about this game. The Utah could have already wrapped up a spot in the Pac-12 Conference Championship game.
Yeah.
And the game it's a short week, so BYU Utah's on Saturday. The Conference Championship game is the following Friday, so 6 days. So if you're Kyle Whittingham, are you resting a lot of guys? Do you not want to take run the risk of guys getting injured to play for their first Pac-12 championship? So that's a real possibility, Jason.
It's a possibility.
So there's a chance for BYU if Kyle rests some of his players.
There's a possibility, but I don't see Kyle doing that.
No,
man.
He's not going to do that at all.
That rivalry between Kyle and Utah,
he does not
BYU,
want to lose at all, Jason.
No, and come on, you and I both know the best way to keep your players safe and healthy is come out. The only way you step on a football field, and I tell whether I'm coaching high school, college, NFL players, or Little League players, I tell them you never step on a football field without playing 100% with every play like it's the last play of your life, and it's the only way to play football. And you go out there, and I don't care who you're playing and how much you're favored. You go out and you stomp them into the ground. I mean, that's just the only way you play football.
All right, here's what we'll do. If you lose, you have to wear a Utah football uniform. You have to sing the fight song, and you have to do it on our podcast.
A uniform?
Yeah, a Utah football jersey.
Let's have BYU fans vote on that. You'd have me disowned by the BYU world.
Well, no, and
that'd be so humiliating.
Just take your beating like a man. All right, it's going to happen.
You're so cocky right now. I can't really argue this. I cannot.
If BYU wins,
show you.
If BYU wins, I'll do the same thing on our podcast. I'll sing "Rise and Shout, the Cougars are out" with a BYU jersey on.
And so, in all honesty, you have like a 90% chance on the bet, and I've got like a 10% chance on the bet.
So, do you want to even the odds?
And how do we even the odds?
Well, let's say you give me a reasonable score that Utah has to beat BYU by.
You're going to get me in trouble. Whatever I say, I'm going to have people mad at me for saying BYU's got an underdog to Utah.
Well, come on, Jason. Everyone knows they are. It's not. Let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you a fighting chance.
If BYU came out, because they changed their offensive game plan, it seems like their offense, like every time I turn on the TV, I'm like, wait, that's not the offense I was watching last week. So who knows?
How about Utah has to beat them by 17 points or more?
Okay, I'll take 17.
17 points, and I'm being generous.
That's generous. I agree. That's generous.
That's generous. All right, so the bet is BYU has to beat, or I'm sorry, Utah. We've already determined Utah is going to win the game, but they got to win it by 17 points or more. And if they don't do that, then I have to sing the BYU fight song in a BYU jersey. But if it's the other way around, you got to wear that red jersey.
Oh, dude, people are going to be so mad at me. Okay. You know what? 17 points, that is very fair.
All right, that's fair. Okay.
I'll take the bet.
Okay.
I'll take the bet.
Hey.
But it's painful.
Rivals has arrived, and now
it's not a great football team right now.
I know. I'm trying to help you out there. Rivals has arrived. Now it's time to go. Jason will never stop talking. That's for sure. You can text Rivals to 65537. Go to all those social sites and like us. And
off to our corners.
Off to our corners.
I'm not Scott.
And I'm not Jason. We'll catch you soon.